my sweet baby boy. So today is May 7th. It is about to be 8 p.m. I've been having like Braxton Hicks, the random contractions, but I think that I might actually be starting to labor. Like I'm in the very early stages of labor because my contractions are like 30-40 minutes apart. I've had like 4 of them now within like the past 2 hours, and I wouldn't say they're like intense, obviously, because I'm just in the beginning, but I definitely think I'm starting to early labor, and I don't know how long this is gonna last. I know you're not supposed to like be Googling stuff or whatever, but I Google anyways because I just like to know what I can. And it says that it can last for like hours, or like early labor can last for days. So we'll see how this goes. I do have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, my 39-week checkup. So I don't think I'm gonna have them do a cervix check just because I'd rather wait until I'm actually like in active labor, you know, because like if they're gonna check my cervix and tell me I'm just like 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter dilated, that's not active labor, it's early labor. And you know, I don't want them to say, oh, you're like 2 centimeters dilated, you should go to the hospital. And then I go to the hospital and then like in a few hours they're like, oh, you know, you're not dilating fast enough, like let's intervene and do this, that, and the third. No, I'm gonna wait a little bit. Like I still have up until my due date. As long as the baby's moving and I feel fine, I'm going to try to labor at home in my own comfort for as long as I can. But yeah, I definitely do think that your girl is starting to go into labor. I'm in like the very beginning stages. So we'll see. I'm gonna keep timing my contractions, see if they continue, see if they go away, and see what happens. It's May 7th. My due date is May 17th. So who knows? It can go away, it could stop, it could continue, it could, I don't know. But I definitely am going to be vlogging this journey. So let's see what happens. It is May 10th. I'm doing 7 days and I'm still very much pregnant. Ugh. He is hanging out when he needs to come out. There's no outfit. I just have on another dress, of course, because this is literally all I can wear. My dresses. Oh, and it's so cute. Oh, but it's a nice day, so maybe I'll go to the mall. Definitely gonna go on a walk, and you know, we're gonna walk this baby out. I tried the raspberry leaf tea this morning. I am a tea person, so I don't find it nasty. I think it was fine, but I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, I'm about to start trying all these mitts, so that way I can see what works. If they work, who knows? I don't know. They probably don't even work, and you probably just go into labor anyways. But yesterday morning, I was having a lot of contractions in the morning and like back pains. So fingers crossed he comes out like today or tomorrow. Tomorrow's Mother's Day, but I just really hope that I don't go past the 17th. But he needs to come out. I am ready, and I want to wear my clothes. I can't fit anything. Like, I want to wear my clothes. It's time for me to be sexy again. Be a sexy mama. I want to buy a costume and play mass in Labor Day in Brooklyn. I don't think I'm gonna have anybody to play mass with. I don't know. I do have like people who be going to the parade with me and stuff like that, but you know, not everybody likes to play mass. But people be, well, people, me and my friends be like going real early so that way we could be there before they like start closing it off, and we just like walk with the parade anyways. But I want to be in a costume and look sexy. I haven't been in a costume in forever, since I was 18 in Barbados, and I'm 26 now. So, and it's always been a dream of mine to like, because I used to grow up going to the Labor Day parade, so it's always been a dream of mine to like walk down the Eastern Parkway in costume. So I used to be like, I want to be like that, but we'll see how things go. But yeah, that's my little update for today, and maybe the next time I'll be on my way to the hospital, or you know, stuff happens fast, so maybe I'll have the baby with me. We'll be back soon. It is May 13th. I am 4 days away from my due date. It's Tuesday, I'm due Saturday. I don't know, today might be the day. Last night I felt like a really strong pain in my stomach, I guess a contraction, and then again this morning I'm starting to feel a little something, but yeah, I'm ready whenever he is. The other day I had to go get checked because I thought my water was like slowly leaking, like instead of like breaking, like some people say like it's like a gush and then like it all comes out at once. My grandmother is like, it's gonna feel like you're peeing and you can't control it. I don't know. And then, you know, some people it's like, oh, like it just like slowly leaks, and either way, you know, you gotta go to the hospital, because if that's happening, the baby's coming. But it was a false alarm. It was not leaking. He is just playing games, and he does not like to be monitored. They had him on the monitor, and he was just like kicking the machine thingy so hard that it was like coming off him, so it looked like his heart rate was like up and down because he wasn't trying to be monitored. But he was good, his heart rate was good, and they did a cervical check on me. Everyone be saying that's like the worst thing, it hurts so much, it's uncomfortable. I don't know, I felt like it wasn't like, not that it was nothing, but it was just like whatever, you know, like I wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is so uncomfortable, or like, oh my gosh, this hurts so much. Like, she checked my cervix, took like 2 seconds. So she said that I am like getting ready to go into labor, though, that my cervix is thinning out, so it's probably starting to dilate if it hasn't already. Maybe that's what those cramps were. But yeah, I sound congested because I was in the park yesterday and the day before, just because, you know, the weather's been really nice, and of course I forgot to take my allergy medicine these past 2 days. But still no baby today. Maybe the next time there will be a baby. Let's see, my next check-in. But I'm excited, and my grandmother's calling me every morning. She's like, is he here yet? I'm like, no. She's like, do you feel okay? Yes. Is he still moving? Yes. Okay, good. I'll call you tomorrow. That's literally our conversation. But yeah, so I'll probably check in again tomorrow or whenever, because I know I definitely skipped a few days. But yeah. Please. Well, I had my baby. Today is Sunday, May 18th. I had my baby Friday, May 16th. And everything went well. I currently have a belly binder on. It's the Freedom Mom one. I like it. Let me show you it. I feel like it's keeping everything just like in place. because everything is all loose and jiggly after giving birth, and this is making it easier for me to like move around, and everything's not like moving around with me. Everything's staying in spot. But yeah, I had my baby. That's like crazy. I look at him like that's real. But I went into labor. Well, actually, the 15th, I had my last checkup, and they checked me, and they were like, "You are a centimeter dilated." So they did a membrane. Well, they asked first, and I agreed to do a membrane sweep. And basically, it's supposed to help you go into labor naturally. I think it definitely worked for me because I started having contractions that night. Like, I was already having random contractions, but that night when I went home, I started having like more consistent contractions. I ended up not sleeping at all because the contractions were coming in like every 15-20 minutes, so it was hard for me to get any sleep. Like, as soon as I would like, you know, close my eyes and start falling asleep, a contraction would hit. So I got no sleep, and then around like 10 in the morning, I woke up my partner and I was like, we need to go to the hospital. Like, I feel like my contractions are coming way closer together. Like, as the morning went on, they did start getting closer together. And so we get to the hospital and they checked me, and they were like, "You're 5 centimeters dilated, your water bag is really low, it didn't break yet." And then they could also see on the monitor that my contractions were 6 minutes apart. So they set me up in a labor and delivery room, and that was around like 10:30. And then I was just like, you know, naturally laboring. I chose not to get an epidural. It kind of freaked me out once the nurse was like, "Your blood pressure could drop," and I was like, "My blood pressure could drop," and she was like, "Yeah, but you know, that's why we make sure you get like hydrated before you get it, and this and that." And then I just heard like a bunch of other stuff about like people getting it and it failing and it not even working, or you know, people getting it and having back problems after. And I don't know, just the thought of like being completely numb freaked me out. I don't like that. So I chose not to get an epidural. I was already 5 centimeters dilated, and she told me that I could get it up to any point before 10 centimeters. So it wasn't like, oh, you have to get it before a certain point, you know. It was like my choice, but I chose not to. And I was just walking around my room, which helped me a lot with my contractions, I feel like. Laying down, just sitting still in bed, that is, like, made the contractions hurt the most. But staying active and moving around, it was manageable. And then at one point I got checked again, and it was by a doctor. Yeah, I don't know, like a student doctor. No, it wasn't a student doctor. She was like a regular doctor. But she ended up not coming back in the room after, which I like appreciated, because when she checked me, I was like 5.5 centimeters. Oh, my grandma's calling. I'll pick this up later. All right, so where was I? I believe right before I said my grandparents were coming, I said that I was like 5 centimeters dilated. That I got to the hospital, I was 5 centimeters dilated. I was like 10 something, whatever. So some time went by and they checked me, and I was like 5.5 centimeters. So, oh yeah, I was talking about that doctor. She checked me, and she like when she did the cervix check, she was like, "I'm gonna like see if I can push you to 6 centimeters." That honestly hurt. Like, the cervix check to me didn't really hurt. It wasn't all that uncomfortable, but when she was like trying to open me up more to 6 centimeters, that kind of hurt. So I was 5 centimeters dilated, and she just like 5.5 centimeters dilated, and she just got like the last half, whatever. It took like 2 seconds, but that still hurt. And then she left, whatever, and then I just like continued to naturally dilate a lot on my own. The next time I got checked, I ended up being like 8 centimeters and then 9 centimeters, but my water still didn't break yet, and that was around like 4 p.m. So they were like, we can break your water for you, or you can like continue to wait. And I was like, you know, they can just break it for me. So that was the most like medically involved, I guess they were. But like literally they just like had like a stick, because I was like already dilated, so you know, they just had like a stick and just like poked my bag and my water immediately broke. And then like an hour after that, I gave birth. Like I was 10 centimeters, and then my contractions started getting like real back to back, and then I felt like I had to push. And I told my partner, and he called the nurse, and then she called all the doctors, and then they were like, let's have a baby. And I pushed for maybe like 10 minutes, no more than like 15, and he came right out. I did tear a little bit, but I knew I was gonna tear when I like, because they asked me if I wanted a mirror in front of me, so they put a mirror, and it was like, it could help you push more. At first I was like, I don't know, but then when they said that, I was like, I guess. And honestly, it did help me push more, because once I saw like his head, and then I saw him like crowning, I was like, all right, like I gotta keep going, I can't stop. But he came out, and I knew I was gonna tear a little bit because I could feel like the tension. Like I didn't feel it tear because like he came out, and like I said, I wasn't on the epidural, so I just felt like everything, you know. Honestly, the worst part of doing it natural was the crowning, because that was like a burning sensation. But I feel like the contractions for me personally were manageable by, you know, just moving around. And also like you get breaks in between contractions. It's not consistently like non-stop. So, you know, like, and you feel the contraction coming. So I would just take like a deep breath in when I felt it coming out, and I would like hum. Like I was in there like and that's just like, it helped me. I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know the science behind it, but humming every time I had a contraction helped me. I wasn't like in there like yelling or screaming. When I was pushing, I was like, I don't want to say yelling maybe, but I was definitely making a little bit more noise. I don't know if I pooped or not when I gave birth. I didn't want to know. The doctors know if I did, and my partner knows if I did. I don't know. I don't want to know. But besides like them breaking my bag, I really didn't have any medical intervention. They didn't give me Pitocin before I gave birth. I did get some after I gave birth. They just was like, but they did ask too. They were like, you know, is it okay if we give you this to help your uterus start contracting and blah, blah, blah. So I did get it after birth. And my placenta also came right out. Like he came out, they put him on my chest, and I got skin to skin for 2 hours. So he was like right there the whole time. They left us alone for like 2 hours, and he actually pooped like as soon as he came out. So that was cool. Not cool, but like that was a good sign for them or whatever. But like a few minutes later, not even like 5 minutes passed, and I just like remember saying like ow, because I felt like something slip out, and they were like, that's your placenta. And then she was like, do you want to see it? I was like, sure. But I had a relatively good birth, thank God. There were no complications, nothing crazy. It was pretty smooth. Like I said, I was contracting all night, and I went to the hospital, finished laboring there, and he came right out. And now I have a beautiful baby boy, nice and healthy. He's currently asleep in his bassinet. Last night was our first night home. He woke up maybe like 3 times, so it wasn't like terrible, and he wasn't like, you know, screaming and crying or anything. He would just like get a little fussy because he was getting hungry. It wasn't, I wouldn't say I cluster fed, because they kept like, I don't know, I feel like they're trying to warn you, but at the same time it can like also be like they're trying to scare you. But they were like, oh, like, you know, your first night home, you know, he's probably gonna be real fussy and up every single hour and want to cluster feed. But I don't feel like I've had that experience, you know. Everybody's experience is different, so it's nice that I guess they try to like give you that warning. But I feel like at the same time it can like be a little scary. Like I felt like they were trying to scare me more than warn me. Like You know, just because that's been other people's experience doesn't mean that's going to be my experience. You know, you can't compare everybody's pregnancy. You can't compare everybody's labor. You know, the same way you can't even compare your own two pregnancies together. You know, like, I don't know. I've only been pregnant one time, but I've heard people say, like, sometimes each pregnancies are different. But that's my little labor and delivery story. Like I said, I did tear, so I do have a few stitches, and that's really the only thing that's like, I wouldn't say bothering me, but it's a little bit sore, like when I'm first sitting down and when I'm first like getting up. Other than that, I've been walking around, moving around perfectly fine. I feel fine, I feel good. Some things that they don't really tell you is that when you start breastfeeding, like when they first latch, that hurts. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but they said that it's not supposed to hurt like the continuation of breastfeeding, and it doesn't. So like when he first latches, that hurts, but like for the rest of the breastfeeding, it doesn't. I am also gonna be pumping because, you know, I have help, so I'm gonna take advantage of that. That way I can, you know, pump and leave milk in the fridge or whatever, and I can like get some rest and someone else can bottle feed. What else? What else did I want to talk about? Oh, I didn't really like have a burning sensation when I was peeing. I guess some people get like UTIs after giving birth, but I like peed perfectly. Can I talk about peeing on YouTube? I urinated perfectly fine after, like at first it was like a little bit, and then after it was, you know, just like whatever. I don't know, I feel like I sat a certain way so that way it didn't go back on my stitches either, so I feel like that also helped prevent like any burning sensation or anything, so I was fine with that. I didn't go number 2 yet, and I gave birth Friday. It's Monday, but they said that it's like kind of normal, not kind of normal, that it is normal for you not to like poop for a few days after birth. So hopefully that happens soon because it feels a little weird. I'm someone who goes pretty consistently. Like, I have a fast metabolism, so after I eat, you know, just be coming right out, but it hasn't, so it feels a little weird. But I did eat oatmeal this morning because, you know, oatmeal is high in fiber to, you know, try and help. And they were giving me stool softeners in the hospital. I think I maybe got like 3 pills or whatever. So I feel like when I do go, it might be like not solid. Yes, I think that's just like some interesting things that people don't talk about postpartum. I don't know if it's like embarrassment or what, but you know, that's like things I didn't know. Like I didn't know about it hurting first when you breastfeed, and I didn't know about you not going number 2 for a few days after birth. I did know about the bleeding from like your uterus contracting after birth. Mine actually contracted pretty quickly, so it's already almost back to where it's supposed to be. And I do think that breastfeeding helps with that, because when you breastfeed, it like, you know, signals your body to do all these other things. Your uterine contracting is one of those things, and you know, that's just like the natural process. That's what our bodies were made to do. So yeah, I do think that breastfeeding played a role in that, because you know, I didn't do anything to make it happen, but my bleeding has slowed down a lot. This is like what, day 3, and it's like, it's not even like a light period anymore. It's like, well, I guess you could say it's like a really light period, but basically your bleeding is supposed to get lighter and lighter and lighter and lesser as the days go on. It's not supposed to get worse. If it gets worse, then that's not a good sign. But yeah, I don't know. I am wearing a Frida postpartum underwear, whatever. I have an ice pack on, and I have like the Hazel Witch cooling things. I actually really like those a lot. The little cooling pads, they're like a circle. Should I go get it? I'll go get it. I'll show you guys. Oh. This is a nursing t-shirt. I got this off Amazon. It like hooks and unhooks. And it's a tank top. I said t-shirt. Whatever, same thing. But I like it. But this is what the hospital gave me. This is actually the second pack. I ran through the first pack like crazy. But it just looks like little patty thingies. I like this a lot. It really does like cool everything down and it feels nice. But I didn't buy too much postpartum care stuff because they give you a lot. Like, you know, they give you a bunch of the underwear to wear, they give you ice packs, they give you like this whole pack. So, you know, you just keep asking for stuff when you run out or when you want more, and they'll give it to you. So I feel like I maybe might have to buy like one more box of the postpartum shorts, because the Frida box only comes with like 8. So I probably just need like one more, and I think that should be fine, especially since my bleeding has been getting lighter. And they also gave me 2 packs of pads, not ice packs, but just like regular pads. No, I don't know if they were like regular pads. I wouldn't call them regular pads, but you know, just postpartum care stuff. So I feel like I'm all set and I didn't really have to buy anything. And like I said, this came, well, they gave me that too. And I did buy some myself actually when I bought the Frida shorts, but it's like, I don't think it has as much as these have 40 in there. And something else I'm also doing is putting nipple cream on my nipples. I am not waiting for my nipples to get like sore or raw or whatever. I feel like that's probably painful. So I am just doing it like, I'm trying to do it regularly. Like I just put some on not too long ago. I'll probably put some on again later today. I think I did talk about pumping. I did pump a little bit last night and I was able to get almost a full ounce. So go me. But I'm excited. So I feel like since I got that much already for the first night, these next couple of nights I should be able to get like a lot more to be able to, like, you know, put in storage to have help. Because since I only got like that little bit that first night, I obviously, you know, had to keep feeding myself all night. But it wasn't a problem. Like I said, he only woke up like 3 times, so it wasn't like the end of the world. But when I felt like my nipples did need a break, having that little bit did help out a lot, and it relieved me. So I feel like if you can pump, you should pump. It doesn't feel the same as like when they're breastfeeding, like it doesn't hurt or anything. So, and it gives your nipples a little bit of a break. I've had a lot of visitors already, and that's nice. And I don't know, I don't think there's anything else that I really want to talk about. That was just my labor and delivery story. You know, I vlogged a few days leading up to birth. I meant to vlog the day that I got my final checkup, but it just like completely slipped my mind. And then I thought about like vlogging while I was in the hospital, but I was like, that's probably gonna be like overwhelming. I honestly didn't even bring my camera or anything like that. Like that didn't even like, in the moment I wasn't thinking about that anymore. I was just like, we need to go to the hospital. I feel like this baby's coming. I'm excited. It's funny because my grandmother on the 15th, she swore up and down the baby was gonna come the 15th. And one of my aunts too, she was like, today's a good day to be born, because they liked like the 555, 515, 25. But ended up coming the 16th. So the next day my grandma was like, yeah, he told me in a dream that he's ready, that he's coming. I'm like, okay. But you know, Caribbean people and their dreams. Yeah, I don't really have much else to talk about. My summer semester is starting literally today. I do already have assignments due later this week, but it's all online, so I feel like that's gonna be manageable. Especially like, well, I don't know why my voice sounds like this right now, but especially like times like this where he's sleeping, it's easy for me to just, you know, go on my laptop, do what I need to do. And yeah, I don't know, I'm excited for this new journey for being a mother. I like that I gave birth like right before summer because you know, like good weather, you can go outside, and going outside in general helps with like depression and stuff like that. So I feel like I don't, I don't know if I'm gonna get postpartum depression. I hope that I don't. I know not everybody does, but I feel like with it being summer and me like still being able to go out and do things, I'll probably be able to avoid it. Maybe when fall or winter comes, it might like hit me a little bit, but you know, let's hope for the best and let's see. But I will definitely catch you guys in another video. I'm not tired or anything. I just feel like I don't have anything else to talk about. Like that was it, you know. The point of this video was just to talk about my birth, and it happens. And I, thank God for a safe and healthy birth and labor. I know that not everybody is able to go natural like they wanted or birth vaginally like they wanted. You know, sometimes you have to have a medical intervention. Sometimes you have to have a C-section. Sometimes, things don't always go so well right after delivery and you have to have more interventions. So I'm very thankful to the Lord for my smooth birth. And I was definitely like, I wouldn't say I was praying a lot, but while I was in labor, I just like, kept saying like my thanks and stuff. Like, thank you for giving me the strength to be able to get through this, because I don't know how I was just like powering through. Like I was just like, all right, like I'm 5-7 years, okay, I'm gonna keep going. And then it was like, yeah, you're 8, and I was like, all right, well I'm already almost there. Like I'm not gonna get the epidural now. I'm just gonna keep pushing through. And the nurse was like, you don't even look like you're in labor. Like you don't seem like you're in labor. Like you're just like, she was like, you're really like making this look so easy. And I feel like hearing stuff like that like helped me out too, because I don't know, it was just like reassuring and it was comforting, and it was like, okay, like I can do this, like I am doing this. But yeah, so I will see you guys next time. And if there's something that like I didn't talk about that you want to know, definitely let me know. I have very little shame. I feel like that could be a good thing sometimes. Like obviously I'm not like crazy, like I do got some shame, but like something like this, like it's nothing to be ashamed of, like we're women, we all go through it. It's something we all choose to experience if we want to. Not everybody wants to have a baby themselves, and that's fine. But yeah, there's nothing to like be embarrassed about, we're all ladies, everybody goes through the same thing. And I feel like more of this stuff should be talked about. I don't know why it's not. And it's, educational, and it can help people like be more calm, I guess, for delivery. Like I know there's a lot of scary, crazy birth stories out there, and I feel like those are the only ones that you hear. And people who had like good, well, let me not say good, but like people who didn't have a crazy birth story, like you don't hear them talk about it as much. And I don't know why, but I feel like you should, so that way more people can know like it's okay, you're gonna be okay, you don't gotta be scary. But my camera's about to die anyways, so that's my cue. And for the 1500th time, like when you're at a party and everybody's like bye bye and I keep talking, yeah, I feel like I just did that. But I'm gonna close this out for real now, so I'll see you guys next time. I don't know what the video is gonna be, but we'll see.